Hey everyone, welcome to 2019. Welcome to our first product review of 2019. I'm excited for this year, I really am. Today we're going to be talking about the Nest Outdoor Cam, or the Nest Cam Outdoor, whatever you want to call it, but we're going to be talking about it. I didn't have time to talk about it in 2018. We're here today to take a look at the Nest Cam Outdoor. See if it's a good option for you to buy if you're looking for an outdoor security camera or just an outdoor camera to keep an eye on things happening without actually having to step outside or when you're away from your home. Anyways, before I ramble too much, let's cut to the intro and I'll see you on the other side. So, Nest. We think of them as the pioneers almost of the smart home. They came out with the very first smart thermostat, the Nest thermostat. It was an awesome concept. In fact, when it first came out, it had my full attention. I just didn't have a home to put it in, so I didn't buy one. And then they quickly acquired a company called Dropcam. And the Dropcam became the Nest Cam Indoor, or originally just the Nest Cam. I didn't see the point to it. I really didn't. I was kind of creeped out with the idea of having a camera in my home somewhere, staring at something in my home that was then talking to a cloud server that I could then use a phone to view, or worse yet, that somebody on the dark web was watching for me. It came as no surprise when eventually Nest thought, hey, you know what, we can stick a camera on the outside of the house using the same principle that the Dropcam had, except equip it with some infrared LEDs so that it could see at nighttime, and bada bing, bada boom, you had the Nest Cam Outdoor. The Nest Cam Outdoor retails for a cool $200 US. That's directly from the manufacturer. I'm sure on sale, Black Friday, Boxing Day, there were some sales, so you certainly could have gotten it for less than $200, but on an average day of the year, $200 US. What does that get you? That gets you a weatherproof outdoor camera capable of 1080p video at 30 frames a second. It gets you a crap ton of power cable. I haven't even bothered to measure how many feet this is, but if I had to guess, I would say we're looking over 25 feet safely. I can say, having used this camera already, it works really, really well. Setup is smooth. Like always, it uses a QR code on the bottom of the camera. That's how you link it up to the app. You've got your Nest account already set up. Straightforward. You can't go wrong. In the ease of setup department, Nest gets a big check mark. You win there. You already saw my unboxing. Just opening up the box quickly here, Nest has a very standard approach to packaging that is extremely effective, very easy to follow. The camera was sitting in the center here. You pull it out. You've got all your cable in the first rung. You've got an instruction manual below that, and then the additional cable and the wall mount below that. So we'll just throw the box aside because we're not here to review a box a second time. Here's where Nest fails in a colossal manner. In an effort to make this system waterproof, because it is an outdoor camera, this is where the power brick comes in. On one side, it has a USB port recessed into a circular cutout, which matches identically with the USB plug coming from the camera. So it's very simple. You plug it in like a USB port would, and then you push the collar into the power brick and twist until the two dots line up. And now that connection is waterproof. The problem for mounting is that this side of the system ideally resides inside the house, because if it sits outside, then any thief could just unplug the USB port, bam, your camera's dead. So you're ideally mounting this on the inside of a wall, which means that you've got to drill a hole big enough to fit this USB and the collar around it through. How big is this? I've looked it up. You need a 7/8 inch drill bit, so almost a full inch, to get this thing through a brick. 7/8 is going to be a tight fit, but that's disgusting. That's a huge hole. And at the end of the day, this thin, flat cable is all that's going to go through an inch wide hole. That's terribly unacceptable, Nest. Now let's talk about the value proposition. $200. That's a lot of money for a camera. It's not especially special. I know that Ring has a camera, and there are other brands out there that have cameras, and they all work. Many of them are cheaper than Nest's. But the scary part is this isn't the expensive Nest Cam. Won't get into too much detail, but there's a Nest Cam Outdoor IQ, or Nest Cam IQ Outdoor, that's even more expensive. I think it's $100 more expensive. $300 for an outdoor camera. There are options though that fall under $100 that are just as good as the Nest Cam Outdoor and get you near the same functionality. The big thing you might be giving up is having your thermostat, your smoke detectors, and your cameras all in one account on a Nest app. It's nice that this works with your Google Home, and it will integrate with your thermostats and a whole bunch of other things. But at the end of the day, unless you're willing to pay a monthly fee, you can't even historically go and view this video. There's no DVR unless you want to subscribe to Nest's cloud service called Nest Aware. That is another ton of money every year. Pour it out the door. For what? A service that other camera manufacturers provide for free? If I was to sum up the big failing of this camera, it's the price. But wait, it actually isn't. The price, as horrible as the price is, it's not the biggest fault. The biggest fault with this camera is this right here. The cable. Yep, it just sticks out of the bottom. And presumably, you're not going to mount this camera at the exact point on your outside wall as you're planning to drill into the house. I've watched a number of installation videos on YouTube. I've done my research. Even Nest's own instructions say, string the cable to where you want. We've included some clips that you can use to clip it to the brick so that it doesn't flap out in the open. I'm a burglar. I'm coming to your house. You're not cheap enough to have not bought a Nest Cam, but you are cheap enough not to have subscribed to their Nest Aware system. So you're not watching. You get an alert on your phone. But before you open the app and can see what's on the camera, I've taken my handy wire cutters and gone snip, and your camera is now offline. Do you see the problem? Or I just yanked it off the wall and left it dangling in the wind. Yep. There are some serious flaws with this camera. I would never in a million years rely on this as my outdoor security camera. Nope. If you're buying this camera as your security system and you're buying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them to put around your house to get every angle, unless you're mounting it on the second story, it's not safe. It's actually the dumbest design I have seen for a camera. There are cameras that are sold and have been sold for the last 30 years that are fully contained inside their housing, and the wire goes out under the housing directly into the surface it's mounted on, tamper-proof, unless you have access to whatever the backside of whatever surface it's mounted on, which, if you do, you probably don't care about cutting the camera feed because you're already in. On the surface, the Nest Cam Outdoor, it looks amazing. It's got all that Apple feel to it with this beautiful, clean white, the high contrast black front, glossy, just unobtrusively Nest across the front of it. A splash of blue for when you're installing. You'll never see it again, but it's there. and all of this cable to make sure that you can reach the nearest power outlet, or maybe one further away because you felt like it. It looks like what Nest did was, hey, the drop cam is such an awesome concept. Can we outdoorize it? I know it's not a word, but that's what they did. They took a camera, stuck it in a bigger housing, said, how can we mount it to a wall? Let's use a magnet. Done. Okay, what are we going to do about the power cable? Add a waterproof connector. How do we get it to a power outlet? Let's just bundle some extra cable with it. Okay, we've mounted it. Oh yeah, we'll stick it in a wonderful waterproof casing. We'll add some two-way communication. Done. That's how much thought went into this camera. At least that's what it looks like on the surface. There you have it. Is it worth it? No. Should you go out and buy it? No. Do your research. Find a better camera. They are out there. That's it. If you're looking for some kind of rating, some of you are, some of you aren't. I don't typically give ratings or scores, but I would have to give this camera a 6 out of 10. It's not well thought out in the implementation side of things. Again, packaging killed it. Installation almost kills it, minus having to drill the giant hole in your wall. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you later with another product review. I'm sure I've got one coming up soon. I know I'm working on a whole bunch of things. I'm waiting for companies to get back to me because I have a ton of ideas. I just need to get the equipment in to be able to bring them to you. Talk to you later. Ciao.